probably be like on the same. It'd probably be like on the same one. Yeah, yeah. Just early this morning. Nope, it's only 10, so I got a little time. Yeah, I got a little time. I said it's no, I don't have to be there till a little later. That's why I'm going live now. Yeah, yeah. It's only 10 o'clock here in AZ. Well, I just like to put it out there for it to be there, man. So, mm, they called me last night, but I tried to let. Right, right. Well, no, it's only 10 o'clock here. I don't have to be there till a little later. That's why I did everything early. Sent out the emails and everything. So I just wanted to put this message out here before I got out. I have to check with my wife. I know everybody said the 7th, so I may be coming. I'm not 100% sure. Just don't count me 100% in, but I'll check my schedule. I may come. I know it's just cold back there, man. Right. Yep, I'm live. Yep. Then I see everybody about like what? About 12:31. All right. Peace. 1 second, family. My fault. How everybody doing, man? Just give me 1 second. Hmm. There we go. All right, all right. Let me sit down. I got a little bit of time. First, I just wanted to say peace to everyone. Just wanted to share something with a couple of my brothers and sisters that be getting this science misconstrued and thinking this is some type of criminal group or whatever. But like I say, we don't want no one to take this demonstration or anything that we promulgate, you know, as something radical or illegal because it's not. What I do want to show is what a lot of Moors, maybe some have shown it, maybe some have not. But what I like to talk about when people be saying and promulgating that they're sovereign citizens. And I say that's an oxymoron. You can't be a sovereign and a citizen at the same time. That's criminal. And the powers that be, they have their own certain task force to watch those individuals. And I just want to share some things with brothers and sisters for you can judge for yourself. You can ask yourself some questions. And hey, like I said, wherever it fall, let it fall. If you with it, you with it. If not, you not. If you fall in this category and you're doing some things unjustly, maybe you need to check those that brought whatever they brought to you. That oxymoron behavior, that sovereign citizen behavior. You need to check them and check yourself before you move any further. Because right now, it's a danger zone. So I just want to talk about some things that's common to man before you jump into things or thinking you're going to convert to be a Moor and you're going to disappear and everything is going to change in your life because you say that you are Moor and no laws pertain to you. That's just asinine. And it's no disrespect to anyone out here that got a false understanding. Sometimes, man, we just have to stand up and say, okay, well, we talk everybody on the internet talking about this magical stuff that Moors can do and this and that and the other, but no one's talking about the dark side of it. Everybody just winning, huh? If that's the case, everybody just winning. I don't see nothing. and that's not true. So we're just going to deal with some things and talk about some things that the however you want to use catchphrases, the law enforcement or powers that be, whatever catchphrases a lot of Moors like to use, and see what's going on in the world. Sovereign citizens ideology. This is what they say sovereign citizens ideology consists of. And we're going to talk about some things and fact check some things. And then I even have precedented cases, dot numbers, you know what I mean, to show you none of the stuff these people promulgated when they went to court, they haven't won. I don't care if they misnomer black, Moor, whatever, or European. No, none of that stuff y'all be seeing. All them people that be talking that stuff on the internet, everybody that followed them went to jail, and I have their cases. No one has won nothing. If you think that, then those individuals are lying. Tell them to show you the outcome of any of these things that they promulgated. They will not show you that. Sovereign citizens believe that the government is operating outside of its jurisdiction and generally do not recognize federal, state, or local law, policies, or governmental regulations. Okay, so if that's the case, no disrespect. Let me put my eyes on, because I have to say this. This state booklet is valid. It's some things in here that's valid, but there's some brothers in here, peace be among him, the brother Soul, that's saying that they don't, all that stuff goes against them, but had all the members filing fake income taxes, and he went to jail. See, these is facts, and it's no disrespect to no one. They subscribe to a number of conspiracy theories. This is what they say, including a prevalent theory, which states that the United States government became bankrupt and began using citizens as collateral in trade agreements with foreign governments. They believe secret bank accounts exist at the United States Department of the Treasury. And you do have the Moors, you be hearing the Moors talking about your social security number is attached to some $1,000,000. And I say, okay, well then, if my social security is attached to some $1,000,000, why yours not? Where your $1,000,000 at? Where your money? You demonstrate, you do it. None of that stuff has succeeded. And y'all know it. None of it. The accounts can be accessed using Internal Revenue Service, IRS, Universal Commercial Code, UCC, and fraudulent financial documents. This is what they say about these particular groups. See, I don't fall in this crap. Sovereign citizens, which I tell y'all is an oxymoron. How you going to be a sovereign and a citizen at the same time? Are known to travel the country conducting training seminars on debt elimination schemes. So this is they blueprint of what more science is and what these Negroes doing. And it is true. You go on the internet, all you see is these Negroes with no education or never dealing with nothing talk about debt consolidation, talk about canceling corporate debt, which is criminal. Talk about claiming houses, squatting in houses. And in certain states like Florida, squatters have no rights. See, these are facts. These seminars focus on obtaining funds from a secret straw man account using legitimate IRS forms, UCC forms, and fraudulent financial documents. Sovereign citizens believe once the document is filed, they gain access to their straw man account with the Treasury Department. This is what they think. If they don't think that, then what are they promulgating? And this is what they teach. And this is what a lot of this is what the law enforcement have. When I be talking about the Moors going around with them fake fraudulent badges, I'm telling you, they got pictures of all that stuff. When you saw the Moors talk about they some consulate general, how you a consulate general here in having so-called court cases in the basement and having people talk about their cases and then they go to real court, everything they say can and will be used against them in a court of law. They have this. They have the samples of the fake badges that these Moors have. They say indicators of sovereign citizen activity. Some or all of the following may provide an indicator. They say may provide an indicator of sovereign activity. However, it is important to note that activities may also be indicative of lawful, innocent conduct, and in some instances may constitute the exercise of rights guaranteed by the United States Constitution. Do you see how they add in there? They're like, yes, but some. instances. They may constitute the exercise of rights guaranteed by the United States Constitution. It's telling you it all ain't bad because there's some that's operating right under the Constitution, which is your right. For these reasons, these indicators should be considered in the context of other suspicious behavior and the totality of the circumstances in which they are observed or reported. Documentation may be mailed and addressed to the Secretary of Treasury Department or the Depository Trust Company. I seen Moors talk about they writing the Provost Marshal because they under some other jurisdiction. I seen Moors in Savannah, Georgia talk all that stuff, and they don't know that Savannah, Georgia is a right to work state and get they retired themselves, walked out their job. Documentation includes apostille number. Documents contain the phrase accepted for value. Documents are notarized even if not required. International postage rate is applied even for domestic mailing. All paperwork will be mailed using registered mail. Stamps will be affixed near the signature line or at the bottom corner of the page. And then when I be talking about real stuff, when I be talking about legal documents and four corners, Moors don't even know what I be talking about. Name written in all capital letters, blah, blah, blah. Name will be written last, blah, 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 blah. Indicators of sovereign citizen activity observed by local law enforcement. Sovereign citizens often carry fraudulent identification documents during a traffic stop or arrest. They may produce documents indicating law enforcement does not have the authority to stop their vehicle. Sovereign citizens may also write the term no liability accepted above their signature on a driver's license to indicate they do not accept it as a legitimate identification document. Sovereign citizens may also create and display fraudulent license plates. Now, you have the right to annex your L and Bay. If you are Moor and you got your L and Bay on your driver's license, that don't mean you from no more or you have no special power. You just have the right to annex your religious suffix to your name. That's it. House Joint Resolution 75 will tell you that. Research it. Anybody. Research House Joint Resolution 75. You have the right to annex your L and Bay, your suffix. You know? Generally, sovereign citizens do not operate as a group or have an established leadership hierarchy. Rather, they act independently or in loosely affiliated groups, which come together for training, to assist with paperwork, and to socialize based on sovereign ideology. Sovereign citizens often refer to themselves as freemen. Now, I have a problem with that because no sovereigns, yes, they use those things, but it ain't nothing wrong with you calling yourself a freeman. If people use the wrong term, Negro, Black, and color, or African American, it's nothing wrong with being a freeman, an Amazonian, and it does not inherently indicate a connection to any specific group. However, some use the term freeman in their group name. Other may indicate they are a free man, meaning free from government control, and that's not true at all. A free man does not mean you free from government control. And you have, and that's what I'm saying. It all is not bad. Yes, you have some that's not operating right, but that's in everything in life. That's in everything in life. Everything in life, you have certain individuals that's not operating correctly. That's the individual. That's not the science. Sovereign citizens believe the USG is illegitimate and had drifted away from the true intent of the Constitution. As a result, the United States government is not perceived to be acting in the interest of the American people. These groups generally do not adhere to federal, state, or local laws. Some sovereign citizens believe federal and state officials have no real authority and will only recognize the local sheriff department as the only legitimate government official. Other law enforcement officials are viewed as being oppressive and illegitimate. Individuals who adhere to this ideology believe their status as a sovereign citizen exempts them from U.S. laws and the U.S. tax system. They believe the U.S. Federal Reserve System, the Treasury Department, and banking systems are illegitimate. Therefore, one of the perceived benefits of being a sovereign citizen is not paying federal or state taxes. But you can't be a sovereign citizen. That's an oxymoron. So any more promulgate some sovereign citizen movement is just not right. Now, when you're part of a real religious body, you tax exempt from the federal government off the dribble. Nothing illegal about nothing that I'm saying. You see? This is what I teach to my brothers and sisters. We're not here to overthrow no government. And what's that? You know, what's that? Individuals who adhere to this ideology believe their status as a sovereign citizen exempts them from U.S. laws and the U.S. tax system. They believe the U.S. Federal Reserve System, the Treasury Department, and the banking system are illegitimate. And I told y'all, the Moorish Science Temple of America, we have a tax ID card. Sovereign citizens view the banking without tangible assets. Therefore, the United States government is believed to use citizens to back U.S. currency. Sovereign citizens believe the U.S. government operates solely on a credit system using American citizens as collateral. Sovereign citizens exploit the belief by filing fraudulent financial documents, charging their debt to the Treasury Department. In addition, they routinely engage in mortgage, credit card, tax, and loan fraud, which a lot of them Negroes do. That's why I be telling you, they can't get mad. I know a group of them goofballs. All of a sudden, they just professionals in credit and taxes. They're all that goofy stuff. Steps individual may take to declare their sovereignty. This is what they be saying. This is what the powers that be know. They study this crap to catch those fools that be on the internet opening their mouth, willingly hanging themselves. To declare one's status as a sovereign citizen, an individual usually takes specific steps to renounce his or her citizenship. And that's true, because what these Negroes be doing, they be talking about expatriating from some de facto government. And I say, when you expatriate from the de facto government, who do you have affiliate with? Who are you affiliate with? You will be a domestic terrorist, foreign and abroad. That's what these retardos be doing. And I be trying to warn these brothers and sisters. That's not more science. That's not what no upright noble would teach. That's just asinine. Why wouldn't you want to be an American? The land of the free, the home of the brave. Why? They be renouncing their citizenship like some idiots. Then who do you have allegiance with? Once these steps have been completed, sovereign citizens believe they will be exempt from all laws and taxes. That's what these Negroes believe. And then they be showing these people, talk about you're going to expatriate from this de facto government. That's what these sovereign citizens be doing. Talk about they renouncing their citizenship. Then you a domestic terrorist, foreign and abroad. I be trying to warn these brothers, man. An individual, what they do, they say they must first file these documents with the Social Security, with the SOS office, declaring his or her sovereignty. This is what these Negroes be telling these people to do. Documents which are filed to denounce U.S. citizenship include, this is what they be teaching these clowns: the Act of State, UCC-1, copy of birth certificate, and a Social Security card. Once the receiving officials file the document, an apostille is generated, acknowledging the documents have been correctly filed. Once the sovereign citizen receives the apostille, they view this as the USG acknowledging their newly acquired sovereign status. This is what these Negroes believe. This is what they believe. This is what they believe, y'all. This is what they believe. What about their kids? What about their family? This is what they believe. So your whole family doing this? No, you doing this. Man, stop the cap, man. That, like this, you see how stupid brothers are? Documents they be filing. This is what they be filing. An act of reaffirmation of charter and renunciation of attempted expatriation. Then they file a termination, separation, and divorcement affidavit. Then they file a notice of sovereign status by common law affidavit. Then they file a declaration and notice of expatriation. Then they file the birth certificate, Social Security card, the UCC-1. That's what them clowns do. I'm telling you. I mean, I can tell you how they got. It's certain things that be done wrong. An apostille, APOSTILLE nobles, is issued by a Secretary of State. Now watch this. And intended to certify that the authenticity of three parts of an official document: the signature, the capacity in which the signatory acted, and the identity of the stamp or seal affixed. The one-page document is imposed with the great seal of the state and includes a fastening signature of the individual issuing the apostille. So if y'all know what I'm talking about, each apostille is individually numbered, and this number will be used by the sovereign citizens on future fraudulent documents. I hope y'all know what I'm saying. An apostille certifies that the document is a true copy and was successfully filed with the state. It certifies that the authenticity of the signature of the notary public and the notary seal. The apostille does not certify the validity or veracity of the contents of the original document, does not certify the legitimacy of the original document, and does not certify the legal status of the document. So if any Moors out here, they still wrong. I'll show y'all sample apostilles from the state of California, from the Department of Treasury, but Moors don't want to be corrected. You can't build on a lie. You can't. I'm telling you. An apostille is used to indicate the government has recognized the filed document as a true copy. I mean, and it's way more to even break down with that. Then they be catching these Moors with fraudulent financial schemes used by sovereign citizens. And when I say sovereign citizens, it's not just Moors. When I tell Moors, you're going to be sitting right next to jail to the European, the Albion, the Trelodite, whatever you want to call it, sovereign citizen militia. You will be sitting right next to him or her or the group of them. No disrespect. Sovereign citizens are known to utilize a number of fraudulent schemes to defraud banks, credit institutions, and the United States government. They do it all the time. You see these group of individual criminals use the internet to break the law. They get on there, talk about they got some notes that you can take to the bank and cash. Don't no individual that you met on the internet have no treasury notes or no trust or nothing that you can trade with them and take to the bank and deposit. That's the only thing you can deposit in the bank is money or coinage. I don't even think certain banks take gold. You got to go to certain money exchange places to do that. The most prevalent is referred to as the redemption scheme. Sovereign citizens commonly engage in this type of fraudulent activity after a declaration of sovereignty is from the U.S. The redemption scheme is based off the belief that the USG went bankrupt in 1933, subsequently to the passage of the House Joint Resolution 192, effectively removing the USG off of the gold standard. Sovereign citizens believe that the U.S. declared bankruptcy when the United States government was removed from the gold standard. As a result, U.S. currency, referred to as Federal Reserve notes, is perceived as valueless credit notes. But then these Negroes tell you to deal with Bitcoin and all this, and they say money ain't backed up. Bitcoin ain't backed up by nothing neither. That's why I be laughing at these clowns. I can take my money that you say ain't worth nothing and buy Bitcoin. The monetary system is now believed to be based on exchanging one credit document for another. Sovereign citizens believe this makes the U.S. currency essentially worthless. That's what they say too. A lot of them. If they don't, well, whatever. Absent the gold standard, the United States government needs securities to participate in global trade. Sovereign citizens believe that the United States government issues social security numbers and birth certificates as a means to register U.S. citizens for use as collateral to be used in trade agreements with other countries. Under this system, the United States Treasury Department creates an account for each citizen containing their monetary net worth. And every individual group that done this, I don't care if you misnomer Black, Moorish, whatever, European, they went to jail. All that TikTok stuff y'all be seeing, all those Europeans talking that stuff, all of them sitting in jail. And the people that follow them, I have all their cases. They went to jail. None of that stuff worked. How much? Zero. You can play the game if you want to. You can think that means something. Oh, he's saying something and hang yourself by putting your information on there saying, I need that information. None of that crap never worked. Never. And the people that followed them, they lost with flying colors. Ask any of them that's posting that stuff to tell you that, to show you the precedent and law cases of the outcome of anybody following that crap. I don't care if you could be a European and put on a suit and say, ooh, he talking some stuff because he's European. That's what Negroes think. All pseudo. Half of them Negroes sitting in jail or was in jail promulgating that trash. No disrespect. None of that mess works. And y'all know it. And so why would we want to promote that? And it's another way to do things the right way. The right way. Sovereign citizens believe in a Federal Reserve note. U.S. currency is a credit slip, indicating the United States government will provide something of value at a further date. Using this assumption, sovereign citizens file fraudulent financial documents to exchange credit for credit. As an example, rather than paying for a car with U.S. currency, the sovereign citizen will produce fraudulent financial documents, such as a promissory note, signed draft, or offset bond, which are offers to provide something of actual value at a further date. That's what they be saying. I hear that all day. After the ghost and the U.S. government needs securities. Okay, I gave you all that. Okay, issue security numbers and the birth certificates as a means to register U.S. citizens for the collateral. Okay, I gave you all that. These accounts are commonly referred to as U.S. Treasury direct accounts. The accounts are believed to contain tangible assets in the amounts ranging from 630,000 to 300 million. Sovereign citizens refer to this as a dollar value or credit. I've heard them say that. Sovereign citizens believe their U.S. Treasury direct accounts are in the name of a third party, created using their name. These third parties are referred to as stramanius homo, more commonly known as a straw man, because Latin is it. When I be speaking adverb verb, corporate person or government entity. Sovereign citizens use the phrase freeing money from the straw man to refer to extorting money from the U.S. Treasury Department. And that's what they be getting charged for. You can't be mad at me. If anybody think that stuff true, ask any of those sheiks that did it. Ask any of them. They're not going to tell you. They went to jail. They went to jail. Peace be among that brother soul from Chicago. He died some years ago. He went to jail. So if it was all right, why he go to jail? And sent all them people in a burning house. But this is so valid. This is the stuff that we should be teaching. No, it ain't. Then they try to teach you some steps. They teach you how to break the law. They get you caught up in a RICO. And this is the government blueprint to catch these clowns. Sovereign citizens use the following steps to obtain money from their U.S. Treasury direct account, also known as their straw man, to fraudulently eliminate debt. To complete the process, a sovereign citizen typically files the following forms. This is what they say: a UCC-1 with the Treasury Department, looking their U.S. Treasury direct account, notifies the Treasury Department the individual intends to use their Treasury account. They got it all laid out. Acceptance for value with non-negotiable chargeback. Acceptance of chargeback. They got all this stuff. Uniform Commercial Codes, UCC, was first published in 1952 as part of an effort to help standardize commercial transactions throughout the U.S. Sovereign citizens commonly use 3 legitimate UCC forms as part of fraudulent filings. This is what they use. 1, UCC-1, used to secure a loan under the UCC. 2, UCC-3, for changes of terminations of a UCC-1. And 3, UCC-AD, to amend a UCC-3. No disrespect. And if you don't know what I'm saying, that's how people that don't know what they're doing, and you will sit and listen to these seminars and go fly all over to learn how to break the law. And these people have you do all this criminal stuff and you be in trouble and then be crying. There's no excuse of not knowing the law in a court of law. There's no excuse. And then when they do this, when the sovereign citizen receives a bill, credit card, or tax mortgage, a chargeback notice is sent to both the creditor and the Treasury Department. That's what these Moors be talking about. They canceling corporate debt. These Negroes are out here showing you how to commit fraud. This notifies the creditor of the U.S. Treasury direct account and designate the Treasury Department as the responsible party for the debt. The sovereign citizen acknowledged the amount owed to the creditor by sending the creditor the acceptance for value, a bill of exchange, bond to discharge debt, affidavit of payment of tender, and banker's acceptance notice are then sent to the creditor. All are fictitious obligations issued to pay off the debt. No disrespect. We talk about things that have these individuals won. No. I can go on and on. An acceptance for value, which is an A4V. An acceptance or acceptance for value form creates a binding contract with the receiving party. By filing a A4V, the sovereign citizen agrees to be bound by the terms of the accepted contract, acknowledge the contract, limits their rights, and waive their rights to legal remedies. If the creditor refuses to accept the document payments, demands will be made using a notice of notarial protest, notice of non-response, and administrator's record of non-response documents. I can go on with the crap. This is what they be teaching people. Criminal sources of income for sovereign citizens. A number of individuals are known to travel throughout the U.S. teaching fraudulent techniques to discharge debt interest parties. When you hear these Negroes talk about they canceling corporate debt, what are you talking about? You don't have no corporate debt. A fee is charged to attend seminars which provide information regarding redemption schemes and other methods to avoid paying taxes. In addition to conducting seminars, several trainers are known to sell CDs, and which they have. No disrespect. I mean, I ain't here to disrespect no one. You know, this is stuff that they have at their hand. Many sovereign citizens, this is what they say, believe government officials must sign an oath of office upon assuming their position. And this oath of office denies the officials legal authority while serving in that position. They also believe the officials must post a bond, a declaration of their authority to conduct activity on behalf of the government. They think that too. They think that too. But I'm just giving you things. When everybody on the internet telling you, oh, you can do this, you can do this, I'm telling you, they all have lost. And I will give you their names. Everybody on TikTok, every European, Albion, Trinidad, whatever you want to call it, that's talking that stuff for your soul, they all have lost. And the people that they was teaching, they went to jail. Even the Moors that went to it, they went to jail. See, they couldn't stop what the prophet was saying, but them brothers in here, they went to jail for filing fake taxes. No disrespect to no one. We got to start keeping it 100. A common law grand jury or common law court consists of sovereign citizens who convene and issue true bills and pass judgments against offending parties. True bills contain a list of criminal acts committed by the offending parties and may lead to a placement of common law liens against a targeted person. Common law J's are composed of self-appointed sovereign citizens who endow themselves with perceived legal authority, which is unrecognized in any legitimate court. Just like when you see these Negroes here talking about they some Moroccan general. And when the Moors got pulled over on the highway, because they pulled over, and then when that dude, that truck driver, it's all recorded, talk about he got on there and talk about this is some court. Man, if he had a real someone that was in his best interest would have told him, don't you go to that fictitious stuff and have them recording that on the internet where anybody can pull up and you just telling everything retardo fardo. These people ain't nobody. You don't got to go to them fools. And then you see what happened to him on the edge of the highway, but they some Moroccan council or some Moroccan governor. Do you understand the retardedness of these individuals? This is what I be telling Moors when I be like, most of these Moors are retarded, and it ain't no disrespect. This ain't no out of prison. This ain't no make-believe. All that stuff is illegitimate. How are you a Moroccan general here in the United States out here chilling in some hood, in some makeshift court in the basement? How? What are we talking about? Who made you? Okay, if that's the case, just like when we talk about in Exhuming of the Nation, when they said Negro, black, and color and all this, and the Big Six got paid for calling you Negroes, and Jesse Jackson and them got paid for calling us Negroes. Who appointed these people as officials to be the so-called spokesman for a group of people? That's why I be telling y'all this is a joke. Members of common law juries will sometimes issue bounties against individuals they believe have violated their self-defined common law. You'll see Moors on the internet arguing, oh, and this Moor broke the law, we're going to bring him to court. What court? What Moorish court? What are y'all talking about? That stuff is goofy. They believe these groups can place bounties on either the government officials or the officials' bond if they are found in contempt. The bounty may specify the official presence himself or herself as a particular location for judgment or specify the official's bond be seized. Sovereign citizens believe seizing their official's bond prevents him or her from conducting any activity on behalf of the government. This is what they think. No disrespect. They may issue arrest warrant for individuals who believe to have committed violations of common law. They may present the arrest warrants to the local sheriff office for official service. This is what they say. This is what they say. Sovereign citizen, here go they lawsuits. You're gonna always hear these. Oh, I got a lawsuit. On what? You see these so-called sheets. Oh yeah, this is my court case. What are you in court for, sir? Sovereign citizens may file lawsuits against law enforcement or members of the court in their individual capacity, seeking civil remedies for alleged violations of their constitutional rights. But here we go again. Individuals, they still lost. IRS 8300 form may be utilized by sovereign citizens attempting to damage the credit or financial history of a specific individual. The IRS 8300 form is used to report cash payments over $10,000 received in a trade or business transaction. This form is required when a business receives a payment in excess of $10,000 from a single buyer as a result of a single transaction, or if two or more related transactions exceed $10,000. Fraudulent submission of the form by a sovereign citizen can result in the artificial increase in the taxable income of the target being reported to the IRS. All this stuff they be doing. The currency transaction reports. See, this is how they catch these Negroes. They are legitimately used by U.S. financial institutions to report currency transactions in excess of $10,000. To combat money laundering, sovereign citizens may improperly use the FinCEN form 104 to report a target and engaging in scrutinizing to trigger an investigation. They do all this stuff. I've seen it. They have it. They even got when they talk about prison tactics, incarcerated sovereign citizens may utilize the prison library to research federal and case law to determine new ways to create fraudulent financial documents and engage in criminal activity. When Moors be thinking there's some counseling course to get them out of jail. That's false. When a U.S. citizen kill a Moor, or vice versa, if a Moor kill a U.S. citizen, that Moor is going to be judged in the same parameter as that U.S. citizen. These are facts. Sovereign citizens may also train fellow inmates to conduct fraudulent schemes to defraud banks, credit institutions, and the United States government. But we ain't here to overthrow no government. This is what I be telling Moors. You see all these ladies with these white fezzes on and these white graduation robes, like they graduated from college, like that means something, with all this fake bank stuff. Like they got some power to make some bank notes, and you can go cash that in and take that as a promissory note to some financial institution. That is asinine. That shows you the mind state of these adults. I feel sorry for the kids. I feel sorry for the kids. They got all the stuff, all the fake current. They got it all here. Historically, some sovereign citizens have committed the following violations. They say it's some: felonious police killing, liens, and threats against federal officers, bank fraud, mail fraud, wire fraud, mortgage fraud. I know a group of Moors right now squatted in houses, in so-called Asiatic and Moorish houses. I know a lot of Moors ran to China. Conspiracy, fictitious obligations, coinage, passing, uttering coins of silver or gold, money laundering, tax violations, all type of things. The following are a sample of common status of the U.S. Federal Criminal Code used to prosecute sovereign citizen criminal activity. It's a whole list. Man, I can't even go through it all. Each year, I get a domestic terrorist list, foreign and abroad. They got all them groups. They got all them Negroes on there. Women too. They real names. Section 2, abating and abetting, assaulting, resentment. I can't name all these, man. It's too many. It's too many. It's too much. You know? I'll give y'all a little bit of glossary of sovereign citizen terms and documents. What the criminals use. A 1099 original issue document. When they be talking about this, a 1099 is nothing but a religious affidavit. I got the documents from the CCRD, the County Clerk Recorder of Deed, this was in early 2000s, telling you it ain't nothing but a religious affidavit. I'll be telling these more, stop letting these old people tell y'all stuff. They know they lying to y'all. And if they act like and want to promulgate a lie and then try to build on a lie, I'm going to continue. I'm going to pull out the document again and show y'all, man, come on, we can't just build on no lie. We can't. Is legitimacy filed with the IRS if possession of a financial instrument, such as a bond, results in a gross income excess of $10. To fraudulently discharge a debt, the sovereign citizen completes the form designating the creditor as the recipient. The amount of the debt is listed in the withholding section. When the form is processed, the amount listed as withholding is believed to be placed in the sovereign citizen's strawman account as a credit. A 1040 form is filed with the IRS to obtain a refund for the amount stated in the withholding section of the original 1099. You see how easy I destroyed the fraud? I keep telling y'all, man, these Negroes is not smart. They all going to jail. And everyone telling you how to do this, they going to jail. This is how these fake sheiks be getting these people caught up in that fugazi. But I guarantee you they won't come on my page with that crap. Because I start saying their names. I already done showed y'all. I already done showed people. I already done demonstrate a clean glass and a dirty glass. Accepted for value. A for V. Remember, the accepted is an offer from a sovereign citizen, which is an oxymoron. How you going to be a sovereign citizen at the same time? It's a form, a binding contract with the receiving party. The value of the contract is considered the property of the sovereign citizen. If a sovereign citizen writes accepted for value on a document, they are acknowledging the terms of the contract, recognizing the contract limits their rights, and waive their right to any legal remedies. By acknowledging the terms and limitations, the sovereign citizen is not indicating a willingness to adhere to them. Instead, this person is indicating a willingness to negotiate the terms of the contract. And since sovereign citizens believe the United States government operates on a credit system and no tangible assets back the U.S. Federal Reserve notes or the U.S. currency, actual bills are viewed as one form of credit, requesting payment from another. Therefore, the terms are negotiable. Examples of a contract could be a bill, a mortgage, or a loan, etc. See, this is what they have on the sovereign citizens. A sovereign citizen receives a credit card bill, which states the amount owed on the account. I'm giving you an example. An interest rate for the card and a payment plan. By writing accepted for value on the bill, the sovereign citizen acknowledged the contract was received, the amount owed, interest terms, and payment schedule are all considered to be negotiable items, which once accepted for value could be negotiated with the billing company. A sovereign citizen is arrested based on past criminal activities and is asked during the trial to enter a plea. That's when, this is when they be, and that's when they do, when they admit guilt. When you get a court-appointed attorney and you plead to a lesser charge, since he or she believes the United States government is illegitimate and actually a corporation, the sovereign citizen enters accepted for value as his or her plea. By entering this plea, he or she acknowledges, listen to me clearly, the court has made an acceptance contract which affects the sovereign citizen's value, aka freedom. The plea of acceptance for value indicates the sovereign citizen acknowledged they accepted the contract, are presenting a counteroffer, and will be willing to negotiate the terms. See, all the stuff that they have. Affidavit of fiduciary. Remember, you ever heard of that? With all these Moors on here with the sovereign citizen movement. The European to tell you this. The militia. A sovereign citizen will file an affidavit of fiduciary when a financial institution files legal documents against him or her. This affidavit claims the financial institution's lawyer will be representing the sovereign citizen. The lawyer cannot ethically represent both parties due to a conflict of interest, creating what? A procedural problem for the filing agency. See, I just know the tricks. Well, you can't come to me with no criminal behavior. Affidavit of trust. This document declares the filer as a sovereign or freeborn sovereign, consisting with the tradition of natural common law. Although the individual may have accepted or used instruments of federal, state, and local governments, this does not indicate the acceptance of these items. Therefore, any implied contract with a federal, state, and local government are null and void. This is what they think. This is what they think. The affidavit describes the federal jurisdiction as defined by the U.S. Constitution and U.S. Supreme Court cases. The affidavit also covers the powers and contractual obligations of the federal, the state, and the local government officials. Statutes and regulations, which are perceived as contrary to the U.S. Constitution, are considered null and void. And finally, the affidavit includes a revocation of any power of attorney the federal, the state, and the local government may claim attaches to the issuance of a social security number and birth certificate. This is what they say. Documents and actions specifically declared as void under this declaration include Federal Reserve note, bank account, social security number, driver license, vehicle plates, birth certificates, marriage license, U.S. citizenship, voter registration, past taxes, enrolling children in public schools. Okay, now let's talk about some things on here, like marriage license. You don't have to have, now, the law, you don't have to have a marriage license. That's a contract. Your religious organization can do that. The Mormon, the Amish, they don't do nothing like that. Research it. Research do the Amish, research do the Mormon, do anything with the government. So let's be clear when we talk about your religious rights. Let's be clear. Let's not let nobody throw a whole bunch of stuff in the mix of it, but then confuse that of your right and your religious rights, because you have your religious rights. Ask the Mormon. Ask the Amish. Do the Amish deal with anything of the government? No. So let's not play that game. You know, just like when they talk about bill of exchange, site draft, redemption certificates, and due bills. These documents are fraudulently created to pay creditors. When you hear these Moors talking about canceling corporate debt, I'm gonna call them sovereign citizens. The documents will either appear to look like a letter or are designed to look like a legitimate check. And fraudulent checks may be issued to bank or creditors to discharge debt. Typically, these documents designate the payer as the Treasury Department, the comptroller of the currency, or the commissioner of the IRS. To determine these checks are fraudulent, check for the account number at the bottom edge of the document. In fraudulently created documents, account numbers will not be encoded in an MICR, a style print, or an invalid ABA routing number will be issued. All this stuff that's why I'll be telling you. They coming. Bonded promissory notes, private registered bond, for set off, non-negotiable, private registered offset and discharge bond, and private registered indemnity bond, non-negotiable. Sovereign citizens issue these documents to access funds under the U.S. Treasury direct account. Typically, there is a stipulation requesting the recipient respond within a specified amount of time. Non-response is viewed as acceptance and honoring of the bond, the associated transaction, and pre-sentiments. Bond expire at a specific time period, typically upon the death of the author. The goal of the bond is to allow the filer to pay debts using their U.S. Treasury direct account. You see how easy these Negroes can be destroyed? I'm giving you all the fraudulent terminology. Corporation soul. A corporation soul is a legitimate statute which enables religious leaders to incorporate a religious organization to ensure the continuation of property dedicated for the benefit of a legitimate religious organization, like I am. You got to understand this, and you're in a whole different tax bracket. This is what I be telling people, but they be saying they ain't part of this and they ain't part of that. Well, then you breaking the law, because you can't be a sovereign citizen. That's an oxymoron. We talk about the religious laws, trump everything, and they still fall dead on Moore's head. We're tax exempt for the federal government, religious, charitable, scientifically, educational wise. It's certain tax laws that we're different under. I keep trying to teach this and preach this to individuals and Moors, but it fall on deaf ears. You either support your religious and charitable contribution of your choice, or you deal with the government. That's just how the laws are set up. They think it's sovereign citizens exploit the use of corporation soul to avoid paying taxes, to launder money, to do these things. We don't do it. We are a real organization. And then they talk about, 501c3 is the government. Okay, well then if you get a business, what is it? It's a form of a 501. If you have an operating business, a barbershop, a laundromat, a grocery store, a mechanic shop, you have an operating business. You have an operating entity. You have an operating business. So what do these Moors talk about? If you fix cars, you have some form of a business. What are these brothers talking about? Your wife, she worked for a for-profit organization. You have children, they go to either for-profit universities or non-profit universities. What are we talking about? When we really think about these things, if an official review is allowed, agencies are only able to review the assets of individuals or the organization. When I say we do things the right way, that's why I be telling people they don't even know what The Sopranos was all about. Why the church ran everything. Why I tell people black people have no rights. The black preacher don't have lawyer and client confidentiality like the rabbi myself and the royal priest myself does. Because Negroes have no rights. Black preachers will get subpoena. These are facts. It ain't nothing black about me. Nothing. If a religious group files for a 501c3 status, not for profit status, the group is required to comply with the IRS rules. And when people be saying, oh, this, that, and the other, I say, listen, man, I'm not here to argue with nobody. I'm not here to say this or that or tell nobody what to do and what not to do. I know what I do. I know what I promulgate, and I know what I teach. I don't care what no Negro on the internet say about me. A tax-exempt organization, the group is required to maintain financial records, document, gift, maintain a list of donors, and as an organization engage in activities furthering public purpose. Sovereign citizens consider their religious operations to be sanctuaries rather than organizations, and therefore not covered under the preview of the IRS rules. And the Moorish Science Temple of America is set up the right way. That's why I be laughing at these Moors. I said, dude, you don't know how the temple is set up. The temple is set up a certain way. The Moorish Science Temple of America, we have tax ID card. We have membership card. We have our adapt paperwork to say what we can do. No disrespect, UCC filing, the UCC commercial code was first published. Oh, I gave you all that. This is what they try to do all this criminal stuff. Sovereign citizens commonly use the following legitimate UCC forms as part of fraudulent filings. So you're using legit forms to file fraudulent filings. This is how you can check all these Negroes. If you think it was right, why do you think all these Negroes on the internet doing the same cowardly thing? They will not come on my page with that crap. All of them have reinvented themselves. I know every last one of them clowns. Every last one of them, they will not come on my page. It's a whole bunch of them that be talking credit stuff. A whole bunch of them now just be on there talking that crap, and Negroes be following that crap. I bet you they won't come on my page. They all reinvented themselves to what? Be scam artists, to preach that crap to other criminals. Ain't nobody winning off that crap. And if they are, I don't see nothing happening. A financial form used to secure a loan under the provisions of UCC. Sovereign citizens use this document to create a public and private notice of superior security interests, claims, liens on collateral. The secured party is listed as the filer or another person whom is entering the contract. The debtor is responsible for the monetary payment and is listed as officially acknowledging the contract. These documents are filed to complete a security interest and establish priority of collateral. A UCC1 filing protect the secured party interest in the collateral offered by a debtor for a loan. You see how you see it? UCC3. This is so easy to destroy these criminals. A form filed as evidence of an assignment, release, or charge in the original, a UCC1. Remember, UCC3 filing can be used both legitimately and by sovereign citizens to terminate a UCC1, assign a new secured party, change the debtor or secured party information, or to charge the collateral request in the initial filing. It's all type of them. I'm not going to go through all of them because if you're doing this, I hope you stop. I hope the people that teaching you this, I hope y'all stop. UCC 3AD, a form filed to authorize amendments listed in the UCC 3. Sovereign citizens are known to file UCC 3. It's an addendum to pay specific debts. And then they have the general tactics using the UCCs. The sovereign citizens file a UCC, naming themselves as both the secure party and the debtor. This action is believed to lock their assets. Sovereign citizens believe locking their assets will require them to pay themselves before other creditors may claim assets. That's what they think. And if that's what you think, and if that's what they teaching y'all in these groups and things, I just hope y'all be careful. I really do. I just hope everybody be careful doing these things. Because a lot of Moors are not gonna tell you. They're just gonna look at you in your eye and lead you into a burning house. I'll give you a little bit more. When they talk about when they have all these sovereign citizens, when I be telling Moors, you're gonna go to jail, listen to all them other people. And then when you go to jail, I bet you they won't be nowhere. They're going to have you get a court-appointed attorney, and then you're going to plead to a lesser charge. When you plead to a lesser charge, you are admitting a guilt. I'm telling y'all, it ain't no disrespect. What happened to all the Moors that would talk about they got pulled over on the highway or whatever, or they got harassed when they pulled over? What happened to the whole case? What happened to all them people? That's the type of science that y'all want to be part of. And then people be talking about these people be fighting for your freedom. Ain't nobody fighting for my freedom doing no dumb shit. Excuse my candor. Ain't no ex-military Negro out here playing G.I. Joe with a whole bunch of people playing, talking about you fighting for my right. To do what? To do what? Nothing. No disrespect. That's just asinine. And we got to stop that. We got to stop that. This ain't no popularity contest. We don't lead our people in no burning house. Period. None of that crap. All that overthrowing the government, all that begging, all that welfare, that ain't what no upright man want. What we want, an equal playing field. We don't need nothing. And if we down with reparations, then we got to restore ourselves back to our original state. No Negro getting nothing. Ain't no individual getting nothing. So let's deal with it. What is a sovereign citizen? This is what they say. Oh, damn, what time? Okay, I got about like 20 more minutes and I'm out of here. Sovereign citizen is a catch-call phrase referring to a variety of anti-government individuals. Now listen, it said a variety of anti-government officials, of anti-government individuals and groups who share some common belief and behaviors. The organizations to which many sovereign citizens belong to have a variety of names. They say the Moorish Nation, they say the Aware Group, they say the Ouachita Nation, they say the North Carolina American Republic, they say the Republic of the United States of America, etc. But it's a lot of European militia groups in here. The same view may be embraced by freemen on the land, Sons of Liberty, and the Aryan Nation. The Aryan Nation. The Aryan Nation. So here it is, you call yourself a Moor and you down with freedom and justice, and your same beliefs is the Aryan Nation, overthrow the government. So you're going to be sitting right in jail next to the European Aryan militia. Sovereign citizen Moor with a fez on, talking all that retarded stuff. Many sovereign citizens may not affiliate with any of the groups in one way or another. All sovereign citizens, whether tied to an organization or not, adhere to a view that the existing American governmental structure, including the courts and the law enforcement, is illegitimate, and that they, the sovereign citizen, retain an individual common law. Excuse me. Identity, exempting them from the authority of those fraudulent government institutions. Sovereign citizens may issue their own driver's license and vehicle tags. And you see these goofy Moors out here with these fake tags. We're talking about this some damn foreign national tags, and they all different. That's retarded. Ain't no more. We don't make no. Why would we have an ID, a license plate with no Wajir Ali on it? Why? What do that mean? Why? What? That's stupid. Create and file for their own liens against government officials who cross them. Question judges about the validity of blah, blah, blah. Speak an odd quasi-legal language and believe that by not capitalizing names and by writing in red and using certain catchphrases, they can avoid any liability in our judicial system. They even think they can lay claim to vast sums of money held by the U.S. state treasury based on the premise that the government has secretly pledged them as security for the country's debt. Based on these beliefs and a twisted understanding of the Uniform Commercial Code, they try various schemes that they think discharge them from responsibility of their debts. At their most harmless, sovereign citizens are cranks who talk what seems like gibberish to cops and magistrates and judges, and then become law abiding when they face real legal trouble. At a different level, they may severely burden the courts and other government offices with the filing of hundreds and hundreds of pages of nonsensical documents. And at their very worst, they may resort to deadly force. This is what they say, what they believe. I got to give y'all this. I'm almost done. Although the married sovereign citizen groups and individuals not tied to a particular group all have their own, whatever in their beliefs, they tend to share some common ideas. The first is that there are two classes of citizens within the United States. One class is sovereign or de jure. You hear them more, especially them women talk about, I am de jure with that retarded stuff. Look in their eyes, you be like, something is wrong with this lady. All of them. Talk about the one lady talking about she's some Sharifian officer. That's some Ottoman Empire stuff. Lady, are you retarded? Yes. Citizens or original citizens of the states. The second class, first created by the 14th Amendment, by the 14th Amendment, is federal or U.S. citizenship or U.S. citizens. Sovereign citizens enjoy all of the rights of the Constitution, but federal citizens do not. Federal citizens, the sovereigns believe, have bargained away their freedoms by accepting benefits from the United States government. Much of what sovereigns do is intended to rescind or denounce that federal citizenship and reclaim their common law sovereign citizen status with all its rights. That helps explains why they refuse to get driver's license or registered vehicles, reject Social Security, avoid using zip codes, and may not pay taxes, because those are all forms of contracting with the government and accepting the lesser class of the federal citizenship. I'm just keeping it 100. Reconstruction history is important to many sovereign citizens. Their view is that the government established in the South states after the Civil War were imposed against the will of and without the consent of the citizens and are not lawful. The sovereigns distinguish between the original state of which they are citizens and the false and illegitimate state that occupies the same territory. And as already mentioned, they view the 14th Amendment as the source of the new separate class of federal citizenship. That's stupid. If you are more, that goes against it. That's checkmate for any retardo fardo. Because I teach you the 13th, the 14th, and the 15th Amendment. You see how Moors hangman himself with this goofy stuff? I hope Moors caught that. A second significant tenet for sovereign citizens, blending with the distinction between sovereign and federal citizens, is that when a federal government abandoned the gold standard in the 1930s, it substituted its citizens as collateral for the country's debt by pledging each citizen's future earnings for the foreign investors. So if your social security number is attached to some millions, any Negro that's telling you that, why they don't have millions of dollars? Why they don't have it? Why? Because it's some bullcrap. That's how they get paid. How you pay for their pyramid or their Ponzi scheme. Now, I'm telling you, to keep Negroes that think you can just throw dollar at something sleep. As with all other aspects of sovereign ideology, the details can vary considerably, but generally the exploitation for how this happens is that a secret United States Treasury account is set up for each citizen at birth. Some large sum of money placed in it or pledged to it, ranging from hundreds of thousands of dollars. I told y'all. A consequence, they say, to separate identities as are created, the corporate shell account. This is what they say. This is what these Negroes say. I don't care if they black, European, Albion, Trinidad, whatever. They all liars. The one pledged as security is the straw man to which sovereign citizens refer, and in their view is separate and distinct from their true flesh and blood identity. If any more got that millions of dollars, tell them to prove it. They can't. They lying. It's all barbershop talk. That's that sovereign citizen oxymoron bullcrap. In sovereign citizen view, the government control and enslaved straw man is evidenced by documents showing the person's name in all capitals. I don't care if your name in capitals or lower cases. I don't care. Birth certificates. Everybody got a birth certificate. If you went to the hospital and had a baby, everybody. I don't care what race you are, what's your skin tone. If you went to the hospital and had a baby and used a system, then you a willing obligor. Period. 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 Everybody, all Americans, Social Security card, driver license, tax forms, all that represent only the shell corporate identity, the straw man, because they are written in all caps. This is what they say. So if I write in lower cases, now what? Is that you? Is it? Is that you? That's not me because this is in all caps. There's a bit. Okay, so I write in all lower cases. Is that you? Is that you? Yes. Man, go somewhere. A sovereign citizen avoids inadvertent subjection to this false government and avoid being mistaken for a federal citizen by signing documents in a certain manner. For example, by identifying oneself as John Doe, executive trustee for the private contract, trust known as John Doe, or by identifying oneself as the executor for the straw man, or using a copyright symbol with the name or saying John Doe, secured party, authorized representative, attorney, in fact, in belief, John Doe, or interspersing Collins, like putting Collins or hyphens or other odd punctuations in the name, or using prefixes, like when they say noble or the suffix bay or el bay with one's name, and so on. But you have the right to annex your religious suffix to your name. I don't care what nobody say. Period. You have the right to annex your El and Bay to your name. It's your religious suffix. It's your religious suffix. That's the law. House during Resolution 75. You have the right to annex your religious suffix. To annex. Annex. You're not changing nothing. You're not changing your last name. Your last name is not a slave name. That's your coat of arms. You're annexing. You are connecting yourself to the nations of family. You understand your code. You understand who you are. So there's nothing wrong with that. I'm putting the emphasis on that. There's nothing wrong with you knowing who you are. To further avoid inadvertent submission to the false government, the sovereign citizen may use red ink and thumbprints to documents, put the zip code in brackets, or say near as part of the address. There are innumerable varieties of this queer view of law, but all are intended by the sovereign citizen to make sure you know you are no longer dealing with the enslaved straw man or the federal citizen with limited rights. You now have the real common law, flesh and blood, sovereign citizen in front of you. Peace, Noble Drayshawn. Love you, Noble. Sovereign citizen view about the straw man and the treasury account also help explain their fascination with the Uniform Commercial Code. They tend to believe that by filing a UCC financing statement, they can establish their superior right to that treasury account. Having established such a right, they can then create bonds which they tender to creditors as payment of their debts. As they read the UCC, if the creditor wrongly refuses to accept this tender, the sovereign debtor is discharged from any responsibility. There are various other UCC schemes as well that involve security agreements, hold harmless agreements, birth certificate bonds, and various UCC forms. Again, the belief and practices can vary considerably from group to group and person to person. But once you are familiar with the ideas above, you are more likely to realize you are dealing with a sovereign citizen. A sovereign citizen named Fred Jones may say, I am Agent Fred Jones, to inform you that he is not the corporate entity strawman, Fred Jones, and thus is beyond the court's jurisdiction. Sovereign citizens may want to bring their own court reports to court proceedings. There will be talk about common law, about admiralty law, and about oath of office. A sovereign citizen may carry a copy of Black Law's dictionary, I don't know why, as a reference resource for their common law views for those who identify themselves as Moorish nation or something similar. This ain't no Moorish nation, I'm a Moorish American. What's my race? I choose to be Asiatic. What's my status? Free white. I'm a teacher, a map and a guide, a shaman, a royal priest, a rabbi of the Burning Bush Tabernacle Science Temple and School. There also is the belief that a 1787 treaty, fictitious, between the United States and Morocco grants them immunity from U.S. laws. And I gave you the consular courts. Some may claim to occupy the United Nations Indigenous Peoples seat 215. It ain't no such thing. And create their own birth certificates and passports in addition to driver's license and vehicle registrations. Sovereign citizens tend to believe in squatters. Just like when I told these Negroes in Florida, squatters have no right in Florida. If you squat in any of my establishments in Florida, I'm not going to go get no attorney and get no eviction notice for no tenant. I don't have no contract with you. You broke and entered. That's B&E. I'm not even filing that. You got a couple seconds to get out, or we get you out by any means necessary. But they believe they got some rights, squatters. They believe rights and have been known to move into houses that have been foreclosed and abandoned. They will fix them up, place, and have utilities turned on, and then will file documents they believe confirm their new ownership of the property. That's stupid. That is like if your car parked somewhere and some Negroes say they found your car. How you don't even know if nobody owned the property. You just go try to make a claim on something. A person have a certain amount of time to pay their taxes. Do the bank own it? All this. This is what I be telling Morris. It's processes, and every upright man know I'm telling the truth. We're not here to break no law. We know you can find things when things are abandoned. The point is to remember is that whatever understanding or ideology route they take to get there, there is no point in trying to find a consistency or rational pattern in these people's beliefs. These sovereign citizens reject the current federal, state, local government and consider themselves outside of their authority. But ironically enough, at the same time, they file paper after paper with the very courts whose legitimacy they deny, seeking to vindicate their common law rights. What sense do that make? What sense do that make? See, we not here to argue with people. I be telling people, it's like, dude, like all that gibberish Moors be saying, they be saying this, they all in trouble. I give y'all the precedent law cases of all that crap, all that canceling corporate debt, all that fake, that fictitious stuff. It never happened for nobody. I don't care what nationality they are. All them TikTok videos with them Europeans, male or female, none of that stuff never worked. None of it. I can give y'all some appellate cases in North Carolina. If I have time, which I don't, I'll give some other precedent law cases of some of those people on TikTok, those Europeans that be talking all that stuff, and I'll show you what happened to the people that's following that crap. I'll show you their cases. I'll show you what happened to them. I'll take you to Canada and show you a European group called the Paradigm Group. Show you what happened to all of them. Show you what happened to all those Europeans when I'll be seeing more jumping in their inboxes and you be and all y'all doing is putting a database to sweep everybody under a RICO law. Because engaging in criminal activities. Oh, I need that information to break the law. That is asinine, Moors. But there are a few court decisions debunking sovereign citizens' arguments because sovereign citizens almost always represent themselves and either do not appeal the trial court decisions against them or are unable to perfect and appeal properly. Also, most of the arguments they make are so obviously frivolous that courts flee free to reject them without much explanation. There are, though, at least 2 North Carolina court opinions, discussions, and rejections a sovereign citizen's argument about their trial court's lack of jurisdiction over him. The opinions both involving the same defendant are State versus Phillips and State versus Phillips. The first opinion includes that the more detailed discussion of the defendant's assertions about jurisdictions. For the most part, the second opinion refers back to the first opinion. Then in Phillips versus Woods, the federal district court rejected the same defendant's attempt to sue the state judges and magistrate for their actions in connection with his state convictions. Names of their organizations. 2 of the most prevalent organizations of the sovereign citizen groups in North Carolina are the Moorish Nation and the Washita Nation. Moorish Nation adherents may refer also to the Moorish Science Temple. But that's not true. No true Moorish Science Temple, you can't, because you can look up the bylaws. Everything, you can't connect the Moorish Science Temple to these fascist groups. And that's what I'm standing here to stand in right here in it. You can't connect none of these fascist groups to no Moorish Science Temple of America. You can't. You can't, because we have our bylaws, we have our divine creed. And if anybody say they are sheep from the temple, it's certain things that we should be teaching. And we ain't teaching to overthrow no government. We ain't teaching no sovereign citizen activity. We're not teaching none of that stuff. We're not teaching you about no taxes, about none of that stuff, unless you take some real tax courses by some professionals. That is not more science. That is not what we teach it. And if any Negro get on here saying that, that's not more science. We have a divine creed. We have bylaws. It's a certain way that we demonstrate. No disrespect to no one. Everything else is your own agenda. And that's why people getting caught up. That's not Moorish Science Temple activities. Anything about the Moorish Science Temple can be researched. That's why I have a school. That's why here at the Burning Bush Tabernacle Science Temple of School, we have a group of Moors, that you don't have to deal with the rhetoric with all these Moorish Science Temples, this and this of the world list, and saying you got to get some notes and they finna nationalize you and denationalize you with that lies and make up laws. No, we're not doing that. And we're not going to allow nobody to put the Moorish Science Temple of America in that. They say the Moorish nation, and here it's may refer, okay, yeah, or the United Nuwabian Nations of Moors, the MUU, our republic, or other variations, Moorish sovereigns. But it ain't no such thing as a Moorish sovereign. Those are criminals. You got sovereign citizen, but you can't be a Moorish sovereign, because if you're a real Moor, you know you're not no Moorish sovereign. You know that. That's an oxymoron. You know you're not no sovereign nothing. It's a sovereign nation, but we're not no more sovereign nothing. We're not going to let nobody make stuff up. But this is what they say. The more sovereigns tend to be black and younger. Many get started on this path in prison. The Washita Nation, a Moorish branch, is tied to a group in Poverty Point, Louisiana. White supremacist organizations, such as the Aryan Nation, may embrace sovereign citizen ideology as well. So too may freemen and related groups. And this is what I be telling Moors. With all this stuff, they be coming up with these catchphrases, oh, we can do this or we can do this, and they be so anal with it. And I said, but what have you done with it? You're going to mess your whole life up for all this picking up somebody else's fight. Oh, well, this person fighting for your rights. No, they not. They going to jail. Every last one of them. Organizations such as the North Carolina American Republic in Mooresville area, the Embassy of Heaven, the Aware Group, and Carolina Liberty also sometimes are listed on the sovereign citizens. I got the whole domestic terrorist list, but at least some of them say they different. Not all sovereign citizens affiliate with any particular organizations. You know, sovereign citizens may drive vehicles, which they call conveyances, with odd license tags and registration documents. The license tag may say Republic of North Carolina or something along the lines, or Kingdom of Heaven, or Washita Nation, or Washita Trustee, or a variation on those or other organizational names mentioned. A common license tag and registration will say More Republic and have a United Nations symbol with the words Indigenous National or something similar. Criminal. Man, listen. The Moorish Science Temple of America, we are tax exempt from the federal government. So you got to understand how the Moorish Science Temple operate. When you operate as a spiritual entity or religious entity, how the Moorish Science is set up in a certain way, which is a principality, a district. I'm gonna break that down in a minute because I got a little bit more time. You should want to know this. You should want to know this. All this other stuff is fictitious. It's just made up. You know? Private registrants. Sovereign citizens also tend to put gold stickers on documents and use multiple notary stamps. Well, for what? This is what I be telling Moors. I'm like, man, all this stuff is meaningless. All this stuff is meaningless. Oh, we about to cancel corporate debt. What corporate debt do any more have? Any more on here? What corporate debt do you have? You went into a contract, a binding contract, right? So what? So you didn't know what the contract? Did you read the contract? So you think you got some law now that you done went to a agreement, and now you got something that you gonna say that the contract you went into, everything is void. But what if you were doing business and everybody did you like that? That's crazy. That's crazy. Sovereign citizens typically carry their own unique driver's license, just as with the vehicle tags. The driver's license may be issued in the name of Washington Nation. I gave y'all that. Then y'all, you see these Moors with these travel documents. They say these Moors passports, and you see all these other different people on the internet showing, oh, these are passport. From what body? From what nation? That's somebody organization. That's meaningless. That's not nobody. It's not recognized. All it is what somebody made up. The same way you can make your own up. It's no disrespect to no one. If you don't understand that, that's your fault. That's your fault. You have the right to annex your L and Bay, your suffix. You always have the right to do that. Always. In addition to this understanding or false understanding, identification, the sovereign citizen may carry a legitimate state driver's license. You will see these Negroes get pulled over and pull out ID, but then have a license in their hand to operate a motor vehicle. You don't want to get hit. Oh, so you get hit by somebody with that crap and then try to sue them. And they'll say, hey, man, well, I'm a Moor. I don't need license and insurance. When they get pulled over, they'll produce these fictitious paperwork and all that. But then when they back in the corner, they might have a real license. Sovereign citizens have gotten regular state driver's license issued to them with the L or Bay. And I tell them all, just because you was able to annex your religious suffix does not mean you some stupid ass, excuse my candor, a foreign national. It don't. It's not. I'll be telling more, doing all that, it's stupid. You got some sovereign citizens dressed in law enforcement uniforms and carry badges identifying themselves as county rangers or Moroccan generals, like you saw them Negroes did, and got his head bust on the edge of the highway by the regular blue cops, and then on there crying, and then on the internet calling from the jail, collect call on the phone, and all the recordings I recorded, you getting all that information for case, getting all those ladies you calling home to. This is what I'll be telling these Negroes, but they know the law so much. Below are some unusual words or phrases or manners of punctuation or written that commonly used by sovereign citizens. And when I be telling Moors this, I'll be knowing what these Negroes do. I met a Moor, no disrespect to you if you on here, but you know I'm telling the truth. He got pulled over for no license. The first thing he gonna ask the officer, you don't know the law, talking about he a sovereign citizen. I said, man, that's code word for get your head bust. You ain't no sovereign and no citizen. The whole thing is to go to court. If you got all your license and registration and everything, hey, be quiet. Do what they gonna do and go home. But these Negroes be talking to somebody that did 2 weeks of training. Do they know the law? No, they don't know the law. No, I'll answer that for you. No, they don't. And that don't have nothing to do with what's going on. Reflecting their beliefs. Some of the words are legitimate legal terms in proper context, but are misleading in the way they are used by sovereign citizens. For example, the Uniform Commercial Code, UCC, indeed exists and is important law for commercial transactions, but it has none of the purposes ascribed to it by sovereign citizens. It would take a long time for me to explain why sovereign citizens speak and write the way they do, or the meanings of these particular words. Just be aware that the recurrence of these ways of communicating is one indicator that the person is a sovereign citizen. So when Moors be using those retired ass phrases and all that, I'll be like, okay, you and all your group is just having barbershop talk. No disrespect. Because ain't none one of these Moors that talk all this stuff, this social security stuff, and they got millions in this and this attached to this, have no millions. If they do, prove it. And don't get mad at nobody. If everybody's saying you can do this, like one of my favorite movies, The Wolf of Wall Street, prove it. Prove it. This is what I'll be telling people. They can't, you know? And if anybody, I'm not here to argue with nobody. I just hope everybody understand. This is some of the catchphrases that they use. Straw man, de facto a de facto government. And if I show y'all all the emails that everybody talk about they getting ready to expatriate from the de facto government, and then I said, then what? You finna expatriate. So what about your kids? What about your family? You don't even understand what you're talking about. Who taught you that? And this is what I be asking more. It's like, where do Moors get this stuff? Why do Moors just blab off at the mouth? We should be slow to speak. We should be slow to speak. When they use catchword like conveyance rather than your vehicle. When they talk about some UCC, the IRS form 1099, which ain't nothing but an affidavit that could be looked up in the CCRD, the County Clerk Recorder of Deed. Traveling in a commercial capacity. Aboriginal, which we don't even use that language. When they talk about who's the victim, they're using that little C after a person's name, employer identification number. UN Indigenous People, C215, which is nothing. You hear them talk about non-resident alien, traveling private capacity, sojourners, redemption. Where's your oath of office? When they say the L and Bay, there's nothing wrong annexing your L and Bay. There's nothing wrong with that. Domicile, chargeback notice, debtor in transmitting utility, U.S. minor, outlying islands, in admiralty, accepted for value, executor, final solution, free man. And when these Moors talk about they expatriating from the de facto government, then who do you have affiliate with? Who you stateless? Terrorists, foreign and abroad. I mean, it's so much. Ironically, given their view on the illegitimacy of the government, sovereign citizens are prolific at filing papers, which those same government offices, clerks of courts, and registers of deeds are the most frequent victims. Most of the papers sovereign citizens file seek relief from criminal charges or demand money, and many are designed to harass, to intimidate officials. Just like when I showed y'all the so-called sheets talk about some CCRD and some trust, and I showed y'all the paperwork, the lawfully that you tripping, those so-called sheik and the sheikish, you was tripping, telling you by law, and we still go on with the games. They know, and that was in the early 2000s, and we still playing this game today. That's why I be like, come on, people. They're going to use everything against you to hang you. It's there. A sample of kind of document clerks of court and registers of deeds might accept from sovereign citizens include a notice of copyright as to the person's name, often labeled common law, copyright notice, registered warrant claim for trust, special deposit, filing, responsive, man, it's just too much. It's too much. It'll take me all day to break all this down. That's why I tell people to come to class to learn, for you can operate the right way. So you don't have to think you're doing something, and then when you get all in trouble, when everything fall on your face, you can't say you didn't know, because that's not an excuse in a court of law. It's common for sovereign citizens to attempt to file their documents on legal-sized paper. Sovereign citizens also use a chargeback notice in response to bills. This message intended by the notice is that the bill will be paid by the United States Treasury for the sovereign citizen strawman account. That's what they say. It's common for documents that sovereign citizens file and send to businesses, banks, court officials to say, in effect, that the failure to deny or respond is deemed by the sovereign to be acceptance of their position. And some of the most troublesome activities by sovereign citizens are their lawsuits and liens against public officials. It's just what it is. And I don't mean no disrespect to no one. Oh, what'd he say? He said, you got it. Oh, gratitude, I'll be there. And he was like, you're just telling the truth. I know. Yeah, I'm just gonna do the introduction, and I'll pull out. I recommend a book, y'all, called Alienable Rights. I recommend the book. I don't have time to indulge all in this piece of science, but you need this piece of wisdom. It breaks stuff down. Alienable Rights, the exclusion of African Americans in a white man's land, 1619 to 2000. When you're going to hear these people talking about this 1619 project, they're trying to make you seem like you slaves. I'm trying to tell y'all it's coming again. And in this chapter, I recommend you get it and you read this science. It's deep. It's very deep. We must be correct in how we operate, especially as Moors. I'm not here to argue with no one. I'm not here to do that. I'm not here to argue with a shade tree mechanic per se, or someone that just dealing with Black Law Dictionary. I'm not here to argue with none of my brothers and sisters or anyone. That's not my mission. I already done that. Going through my academic endeavors, I already done that, and I came out clean. So I'm not gonna wait. I'm not gonna do that with nobody on the internet. But for my brothers that's Moors that get things misconstrued, this is the Holy Nation State booklet of how the Moorish Science Temple of America was set up. Now, in the introduction, is some brothers in here that did some wrong things. Like I say, the science is always right. Some people get in trouble doing some things because they think they get a little power. And then when you get a little power, absolute power can corrupt you. Absolutely. When you think you know something over your people and you send them to a burning house and then you can't even explain that. That's what I tell people. If anybody from the Moorish Science Temple of America, they're going to have to tell the truth, or they just make it up as they go. All that other stuff is just, I don't know what to call it, criminal behavior. But I don't want to get all into the introduction, how we treat everybody in love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Of course, we do all that, But I also tell people, a bigger nation cannot attain its highest spirituality. I will keep the European here long enough to teach you how to run a government. So let's stop begging for what we should be working hard to retrieve, but retrieve it ourselves. So I just wanted to give that little intro. I'll give a little bit more as well. Our mission is to uplift fallen humanity. And if anybody from the temple will say they a sheik, then it's certain specific things you have to do. I'm not here to argue with a so-called rogue Moor that's on the internet that just looking for things and looking to argue with someone on the internet. That's not my mission. We have a certain set of how we do things. And I'm educated and my heart is pure. And I'm from the same place you from. I'm not here to argue with no one on the internet that don't like structure. That's not my mission. A person have the ability and the right to choose how they do. Just don't come on here disrespectful. But all nations have missions to fulfill, and we will appoint missionaries to make certain that these missions are taken care of. Brothers have to understand that they missionaries. If you're a missionary, then you have to help this mission. So I hope many more take from this science. And if you don't have this, I'm willing to give it to you so you can read it. A precious value in understanding and knowledge of this free national government being incorporated under the Hurd-Smith revised status of the state of Illinois as an ecclesiastical body politic and corporate. The Vatican State was incorporated under these same particular acts as well since 1929. And in this basic demonstration, nobles, in this document, a very basic concept of Moorish Science Temple of America. This book is written to the best of my knowledge. And if there are corrections that need to be made, please share your opinions. This is why I say it's nothing illegal about this demonstration. People get things misconstrued. You can't, a sovereign citizen is an oxymoron. You can't be a sovereign citizen at the same time. I'm not here to argue with no one. I've done my oral dissertations and my verbal dissertations and my written dissertations in front of professors, linguistics. Not here to argue with my brothers and sisters. We dealing with peer-reviewed scholarly research, not a belief system. So now we're dealing with how the temple is set up. Definition of a state. Listen to the science of a state. What's the definition of a state? Is a people permanently occupying a fixed territory, bound together by certain law. What common law? We ain't talking about no money. Habits and customs into one body politic, exercising through the medium of an organized government, independent sovereignty, not sovereign citizen, and control over all persons, things within its boundaries, capable of making war and peace. And no one can do that. Into international relations with other communities of the globe, a political unity. Concurrently viewed, a state is a body politic possessing sovereignty. Any body politic possessing sovereignty is entitled to be called a state. So if you're not catching what I'm saying, you need to learn. It's a good characteristic to be described the Moorish Science Temple of America, the Burning Bush Tabernacle Science Temple of America, the Burning Bush Tabernacle Science Temple and School. The people described in this state would be described as the members of the organization. And by definition of state, the fixed territory of our state would be what? Northwest, Southwest, Northeast, Northwest of America. The common law and habits would be focused toward our practices as Chapter 32 of the HERS revised status of the state of Illinois. And by definition of state, the character who will have independent sovereignty per se in our state is the Holy Prophet Noble Drew Ali. No one else. No one else. The Moorish Science Temple of America is a sovereign body. We are not sovereigns, but members of sovereign body, politic, and corporate. If you understand that, and in comparison with the term state, you got to define the term body politic. Body politic is defined as a social compact by which the whole people covenant with each citizen, and each citizen each citizen with the whole people, that all shall be governed by certain laws for the common good, Also, a term applied to a municipal, a corporation, a school district, a county, a city, a state, or a public association. This is what I be trying to tell Moors, but we be so quick just to shoot, just to speak. And when looking at the term government, you can see that the term has a connection with the term state, with the term body politic and body corporate. And we can understand the similarities of these particular terms because government derives from Latin. Remember, I told y'all everything when we dealing with lawfully things or things that may not be lawful, or you might say legal or whatever, you're dealing with Latin. And the term gubernaculums, Gubernaculums, which is defined as the system of polity in a state, that form of fundamental rules and principles by which a nation or a state is governed. So polity is the form of government, whether theocracy, federal, anarchy, etc. There are many forms of governments, Moors, but this particular form of government that the Moorish Science Temple of America is under, that the Burning Bush Tabernacle Science Temple is under, is known as a theocracy. A theocracy is defined as government of a state by the immediate direction of God, or the assumed direction of a superstitious divinity, or the state thus governed. See? And as members of this body politic, we recognize the Creator, God Allah, alone guides this divine and national movement. A theocratic entity differs from the form of a secular entity. The Moorish Science Temple of America, the Burning Bush Tabernacle Science Temple and School, is a divine and national movement that has divine laws and holy laws that each member are to uphold and preserve. And if they are to earn the name of faithful as afforded by Act 7 of the Moorish Divine Constitution and our bylaws. You see? So I'm not here to argue with no one that just on the internet and just saying a whole bunch of stuff. That ain't my mission. We deal with order here. We deal with organizing. We dealing with nation. We dealing with coming together. That's the only way. I don't have no plight with no one that just want to talk. That ain't my mission. The Moorish Science Temple of America was established as a religious corporation. The Burning Bush Tabernacle Science Temple and School was established as a religious corporation. How? Filing the affidavit of organization. 1010-5905, Form 1099, recorded in the Recorder of Deeds office in the County of Cook, the state of Illinois, August 1st, 1928 AD. Anyone can look it up. Anyone can look it up. You see? The Prophet Noble Drew Ali gave birth to a free national government as an ecclesiastical body politic and corporate under the revised status of the state Illinois, Chapter 36, Section 36. And then when you see the science, July 20 of 1928, on the third day in the beginning of a new moon during the sign of Virgo, you know, the Herbert Smith Revised Status, Chapter 32, and Act Concerning Corporations, Section 36, Religious Corporation Act, played a huge origin on establishing the Moorish Science Temple of America as an ecclesiastical body politic and corporate. So how can any subordinate temple of the Moorish Science Temple of America not operate under the Herbert Smith Revised Status, Chapter 32, Section 36? Because this act clearly states that, and I quote eloquently with a silver tongue, any church, congregation, society formed for the purpose of religious worship may become incorporated in the manner that follows. Electing is crossed out. We appoint. Nobody care about electing. This is not no popularity contest. That's what I'll be telling Morris. I'm not here on no popularity contest because somebody got way more views than me, or you follow TikTok, or somebody got a Black Laws dictionary. That don't mean nothing. That means nothing. By appointing, according to the usage or the customs at any meetings held for the purpose, two or more trustees, warden, or vestryman, or such officers whose powers and duties are similar to those of trustees, as shall be agreeable to the usage and customs, rules, and regulations of such congregation, church, or society, and may adopt a corporate name, and upon filing of the affidavit, as hereafter provided, it shall be and remain what? A body politic and corporate by the name so adopted. Look up the precedent doc number, the source, capital P dot A 81-1509. This stuff is not hard. So you see, when you study this Religious Corporation Act and glance at the affidavit of organization, which is in the original form of 1099, you can see that our prophet Noble Drew Ali followed the substantial form of this revised status, and then expressively organized a ecclesiastical body politic and corporate, known as the Moorish Science Temple of America, by that name so adopted. So this demonstration that I'm doing will end all the confusion and foolishness of those who say our prophet did not establish a nation state. I know many conspirators' hearts are beating rapidly. So let's speed up the pace. My people might ask, how was this body politic and corporate duly established? The answer is by filing in the county of Cook, recorder of deeds office, an affidavit substantially expressing by the Holy Prophet Noble Drew Ali himself, being the presiding officer. He swore that the meeting of the members was held. He stated facts of our power and authority, and having the sheiks duly appointed, anointed, and consecrated. This instrument is well known as our authority, but is really titled the Affidavit of Organization. And by definition, an organization can include a wide range of entities. How? Let's deal with it. The definition of organization is defined as one, corporation, a government, governmental subdivision, agency, trust, estate, partnership, association, two or more persons having a joint interest, or any other legal or commercial entity. So you can go a little deeper in order to organize as an ecclesiastical body politic and corporate at that time, a church, a society, or congregation pursuant to the laws of the Herbst Smith revised status of the state of Illinois, because there's only one Moorish Science Temple. It's only one prophet. So I don't care what nobody say. It's only one Moorish Science Temple of America. And if you say you're the Moorish Science Temple of America with our bylaw from the temple, then it got to be structured a certain way, or you doing your own thing. That's why I have a school. I don't care what nobody else say. The recorder of deeds and affidavit, substantially in the following form of the Herds Religious Society Act of 1872, Chapter 32, Section 36, codified by the General Assembly, 805 ILCS 110-36, from Chapter 32, Paragraph 165, Section 36. Just like I tell Morris, we don't have to recreate the Moorish Science Temple of America. It's Moorish Science Temple of America's in a lot of brothers' cities or states. I'm from Flint, Michigan. It's a Moorish Science Temple of America on Martin Luther King Avenue. We temple number 19. Them Negroes is sorry. No disrespect. If any of these Moors in my city of Flint or in Saginaw or any of the surrounding areas, Bay City, I'm telling you, you look up the Moorish Science Temple in Flint, Michigan and call the number been disconnected. That's what's happening right now. So we don't have to recreate nothing. We must take it over. We got to find why it's in shambles, because all the information is there. We can't recreate the temple. I have a school. That's it. Here go the document. Here go Noble Drew Ali document how he set up the temple right here in people face. It's right there how the prophet set the temple up. So we shouldn't be arguing of nothing. The revised statute, the Holy Prophet Noble Drew Ali used to substantially draft out the affidavit of organization recorded in the county of Cook recorder of deeds office. He swore the affidavit of organization to be himself, Drew Ali, but filing as Noble Drew Ali, ALLI. So I'm not even going to break all that down for you to understand. You have to get it. You have to read it for yourself, because me just telling you all this means nothing. You got to understand, it's rules and customs. Our holy book, The Moorish Science Temple of America derives its power and authority from according to the said affidavit of organization. Learn from these divine instructions of the Holy Prophet Noble Drew Ali on how to conduct your lifestyle in a way that the lower self can be circumscribed and the higher self perfected. There are rules and usages of the Moorish Science Temple of America and the Burning Bush Tabernacle Science Temple and School. And these rules would consist of the Moorish Divine Constitution and bylaws, the Book of Humanity. The Book of Humanity. I hope y'all Moors know what I'm talking about. The Holy Quran, Circle 7. Every statement issued by our Holy Prophet, Noble Drew Ali. The Silent Brotherhood of the East that go with your Quran. The Moorish Americans should be honored in spirit along that narrow path that we are to walk, because he is an angel sent to bring us the everlasting gospel. Okay. A rule is an established standard, guide, or regulation, a principle or regulation set up by the authority prescribing or directing action or forbearance. Custom usages are defined as a usage or practice of people by common acquaintance and by long and varying habit, has become compulsory and has acquired the force of a law with respect to the place or subject matter to which it relates. It's so much I can give. So the question is, what do the members of the Moorish Science Temple of America have far as customs? What do members of the Burning Bush Tabernacle Science Temple and School have as customs? The customs that we have are that we practice, of course, these are the 5 highest principles: love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. The Moorish American prayer is a custom at our opening and closing of the Circle 7 meetings, celebrating the Holy Prophet birthday, January 8th, our Authority Day on July 20th. Each year are also customs. Simply wearing a Moorish fez or a turban are customs. We have to honor our foremothers and forefathers. Teaching our people that they are not Negroes, black people, or colored folks, or Ethiopians is also a custom and method of uplifting. Another custom is flying our national flag on the land of our ancestors, which is known as the Moorish flag and has been flown in our land for over 50,000 years. You know, a covenant and oath of the holy state. What my noble say? He said, man, you dig and no disrespect. And he was like, it's sad that nobles don't know this and trying to challenge you. No one's challenging me, noble, but I give honors to your kind words. But I don't take what nobody's, I don't take nothing from my brothers and sisters that's challenged. Everybody all know something and we be excited to say things. So I don't take it as nothing, noble. I really don't. But gratitude for your kind words and your donation, noble. Love you and your family. But let me give y'all a little bit more. Covenant and oath. When we look back at the definition of body politic, Moors, you realize that there are important actions that citizens, nationals, and subjects are to take accustomed with themselves. One action that I speak of is known as covenanting. A covenant of a citizen is an agreement or promise of 2 or more parties by deed in writing, signed and delivered, by which either of the parties pledge him or herself to the other that something is either done or shall be done or shall not be done, or stipulates from the truth of certain facts. You see what I'm saying? So what I'm saying, no Moors, as Moorish Americans here in Amexima now, commonly known as America, under the divine leadership of the Holy Prophet Noble Drew Ali, and under the divine tutelage of myself in the flesh, we are to attend to covenants put in place under this body politic. There is but one covenant for the unity of the Asiatic nation. This covenant is known as what? A holy covenant of the Asiatic nation. It's in your Moorish Quran, chapter 25. The holy booklet was divinely prepared by our prophet. And when you covenant through the holy covenant of the Asiatic nation, you covenant with the whole people, and the whole people covenant with you. And to covenant is to make a pledge. A pledge has a broad definition, but the main focus for now is that it is a promise or agreement by which one binds him or herself to do or forbear him or herself to do or forbear something. The promise or agreements are the conditions of the pledge itself. So when thinking about the U.S. citizenship, I personally used to wonder why the 14th Amendment citizens pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. Because unfortunately, U.S. citizens think that being born here makes you a citizen. And it's not true. U.S. citizens are naturalized, but not nationalized. It's a big difference. And we can go further in at a later time. But to lawfully be a subject or citizen of any form of government, depending on the rules and customs of that society under its constitution and government nobles, one must subscribe and take an oath to its constitution and government. This goes for proclaimed Moorish Americans as well. And by taking an oath of amnesty and reconstruction of Emancipation Proclamation, this is what they say. But you can do this with yourself. We're not trying to overthrow nothing. This is what I tell Moors. It's like you just want to be in a rightful state of an American. Remember Abraham Lincoln in 1865. You a true citizen. You are a true American citizen. You know, it has to be done by a sheik, which is an officer lawfully authorized to administer such oath. And to such oath has to be recorded in where? The county you live in. Why? If it's done of the Moorish Science, if these brothers say they sheiks under the Moorish Science Temple of America, I have a school. I do things the right way. Me being a part of the Moorish Science Temple of America don't make me right. Me making me right. So I just wanted to share that with y'all, man. I just wanted to share that. I'll give y'all a little bit of fee simple absolute is defined as an estate limited absolutely to a man and his heirs and assigns forever without limitation and condition. When I talk about like power of attorney per se, an absolute or fee simple estate is one in which the owner is entitled the whole property with unconditional power or disposition during one's life and descending to the heirs and legal representatives upon one's death, almost like a living trust per se, or entitas. Such estate is unlimited as the duration, disposition, and the duration. And by simple, absolute man or grantor of our estate will be the prophet, Ali, and their heirs will be the Moorish Americans with the free national name, El Lerbay, annexed to our names. And be careful not to throw away your name for a morsel of bread. Since the Holy Prophet Noble Ali is the owner of the whole property, his position of the estate is the holder in due course. So holder in due course is defined as a holder who takes an instrument for value in good faith and without notice that it is overdue or has been dishonored or of any defense against or claim to it on the part of any person. A payee may be a holder in due course. A Moorish American beneficiaries, the Prophet Noble Ali is an holder in due course of any and all lawful instruments, real or personal estate. So when these Moors talk about their estate or the Moorish Science Temple owns something, the Moorish Science Temple of America don't even own the old raggedy building in Chicago. No disrespect. No disrespect. So I just wanted to share that with y'all, man. It's a lot more, but I hope Moors start doing things on the right way, coming together, asking questions, not just basing things on your own understanding because we mad or somebody telling you they can make you something that's not even realistic, you know? Like what type of entities were appointed? Persons on any affidavit organization was in all caps, and most people would ridiculously express this. I said this early. You didn't know that, did you? What? Sheiks are what is considered interested persons, which include heirs, diverses, children, spouses, creditors, beneficiaries, and any other having a property right in or claim against a trust estate or the estate of a descendant, ward, or protected persons, which may be affected by the proceeding. It also includes persons having priority for appointment as personal representatives and other fiduciaries representing interested persons. The meaning as it relates to particular persons may vary from time to time and must be determined according to the particular purpose of and matter involving in any process. So to act on behalf of a person, you can carry out and enforce the functions of that person under the state of blah, blah, blah. You were authorized by them to act as an agent or power of attorney. All our lives, we work unknowingly under a fictitious person, but I have to make it correct to do things the right way because we're not here to do nothing wrong. We're here to do things the right way. We're not here to arbitrate to be like, well, I think this, I think this. Well, a lot of people can think some things and it can be wrong. Did you know that the 14th Amendment of the U.S. Constitution is not applicable to you and is also a deed of conveyance? You know, it's just what it is. It's certain things that we can talk about. It's certain things that you can say and know, but you have to know how to do things the right way. You don't talk about things and then do things the wrong way. This is what I'm telling Moors and I'm demonstrating to Moors. It's like, okay, we can take things out of context. So I give gratitude for everybody taking their time out today. I got to get out of here. But like I said, I'm always going to show books that I converted to PDFs. And when nobles give donations, I give my information. I've been telling Moors I help you build your library, but it be falling on deaf ears when I tell y'all to look up these books. This book right here is called Russian Icon by Vladimir Ivanov. It might be unavailable on Amazon, but it got all the icons, you know, copper colored faces, you know, melanated faces, whatever you want to call it. Some of the pages in black and white, but this book costs thousands of dollars. I have the original books and I converted them to PDFs, so you can download on your tablet, or you can go to Office Max and Staples and they'll print and bind them just like this here. This is called Russian Icons by Vladimir Ivanov. And go on Amazon and see how much this book costs. I bet you it costs stacks. I bet you it costs stacks if it's available. It might not be. And it's a time in history where they made the noses small like that. I can't think of the exact time period, but it'll come to me in my studies. And they got them all painted brown faced it. And this is Russian Icons by Vladimir Ivanov. This other book is called Melanin, the Chemical Key to Black Greatness, the Harmful Effects of Toxic Drugs on Melanin Centers Within the Black Human. Go on Amazon and see how much this book costs. And like I said, today, if nobles want these documents, also if you want the Holy Nation State right here, I have 3 documents that nobles can get for a small donation. Hit me up. I'll tell you the donation. I'll send it right to your email. Just like that. My information to get with me, my Gmail is Goodman, GOODMANKHARY @gmail.com. Only people, please only hit me up if you inquiring for literature, if you serious. Anything stupid, I'm going to block it. No disrespect to no one. I don't have time to be playing games, and please don't play with me. Respect me as I respect you. Also, my office number is 602-473-8767. Once again, my Gmail, Goodman, GOODMANKHARY @gmail.com. And my office number is 602-473-8767. You can get these documents for a small donation. Hit me up. You got to have these. I'm telling you. So I love y'all, man, and gratitude for your time. And the last book that I said I recommend is The Alienable Rights. This is a good piece of literature right here. It got a lot talks about. I'll just give you a preface of the chapters. 20 Nagras, Slavery Implanted in the Colonies. Chapter 2, Attitudes Hardened in the Promised Land. Chapter 3, The Dark Side of the Constitution. Chapter 4, The Founding Fathers at Home. Chapter 5, Free Blacks, The Heart of the Dilemma. Chapter 6, The Rise of Inter-Regional Tension. Chapter 7, The Advent of the Confederacy. Chapter 8, The Toils of Reconstruction. Chapter 9, Separate but Equal, Jim Crow Becomes the Law of the Land. Chapter 10, Civil Rights Victories, Civil Rights Backlash. Chapter 11, The New Federalism and Its Legacy. And chapter, oh no, then it just got the bibliography. But it's a good piece of wisdom. So with that being said, man, gratitude. Did anybody got anything they want to ask or anything they want to share? Anything? Like I said, I give gratitude for everyone taking time out their busy day. I know we all on different schedules, man. My schedule is all over the place. I just give gratitude to the Creator for allowing me to make my schedule and allowing me to be able to travel and go into universities that I graduated from and go into different religious houses and go into libraries and teach kids this history that I thought was important to a lot of misnomer Negroes. But what I have seen, and no disrespect, that it's more important to Europeans and Albions and Tralodites and the European Jews, that this is more important to them than our own people. Like, it blows my mind, but I understand. But I really do understand. I really do. Because I see what an average misnomer Negro attraction is at. The internet, man, It's a multi-million-dollar industry to promote Negro, Black, and color and African Americans being ignorance. Look at all this what's going on all on today. Hell in ministry. They think all ministry and everybody is weird and freaks, but that's just the so-called blacks. You got half of the women with their butts out. The internet, and I say, all I'm here to do is shine a light on what's right. And if people hear my voice, I'm throwing my net out. And if any books that y'all need, man, you don't have to go to no other platform. I have everything that's converted. Hit me up. You can get everything downloaded on your tablet. You should just want the pages. You shouldn't want the Behave Glory paying a whole bunch of money for some books, thousands of dollars for paper, and I have it. I love y'all, man. Gratitude. Once again, thank y'all. Once again, thank y'all again. What you said, outstanding lecture. Look forward to donating in the future. Once again, gratitude to you, Andrew. Y'all got my information. And please don't hesitate, y'all. Please don't hesitate to get with me for any information, especially about this more science, about anything that you may have heard for somebody out here saying, well, I can do this and I can do that. I guarantee you they can, because I'll bring out every document to show you that there's no such thing as no sovereign citizen. We're not here to overthrow no government. There's no special paperwork, Moors, not this and that. We are a law abiding, which make us Moorish Americans. And so I want to be clear in that. And we're not Negro, color, or African Americans. And I make this plain. I show this from scholarship. So anything that anybody need or any questions, let's keep this cipher open, y'all. Let's keep this cipher open for a safe place to share wisdom and to fact check things. Moors need a safe place, and this is it. Please subscribe to my Temple and School YouTube channel. My Temple and School YouTube channel is the Burning Bush Tabernacle Science Temple and School, and we're also on YouTube and we're on Facebook. Please subscribe to our channel and check out some of the lectures. I drop down scholarship. If anything you need, it can be fact checked. And we here as a source of information. And we casting our net for all Moors to come deal with us. If any, and I'm talking about any subject, I'm never going to tell you what I think, because you shouldn't care about what I think. You should care what I can prove. 1 Thessalonians 5:21. Prove all things and hold fast to what is good. I'm not here to to convert anyone. There's no conversion. I know who I am, and I challenge you to know who you are based on the laws. Your divine creed and your nationality means something that make you a complete fifth. You are not Negro, colored, or African American, which are all misnomers that are synonymous to slaves. No disrespect to no one. Especially when I broke down that SF 181 form. That's so prophetic. Nobles, I hate to keep talking, man. I'm waiting for my Uber because I'm not driving on campus today. But I'm going to speak on this SF 180 form and this SF 180 form. I've been teaching this to Moors for forever, and it's falling on deaf ears. Go back on my lecture on my page, on my Temple and School page, how I broke this SF 181 form and the 180 form down to show you who we are and to show you how easy Moors don't read and they just go over things. It's right in our face. And the powers that be and the laws are waiting for us to stand up. So once again, I love y'all. Y'all got my number. Y'all got my information. If you don't, 602-473-8767. And my email is goodmankary@gmail.com. Once again, peace, light, and illumination. Subscribe to my temple page, Burning Bush Tabernacle Science Temple and School on YouTube.